Hello again, this is Ant-Man 21 Able, bringing you another knife video about this Kershaw folding field knife. Kershaw, Oregon on the back, comes in this nice leather sheath and it's been a bit used over time. Bought this knife not necessarily to use myself, but just for the historical value and just to look at it. It's a Kershaw, as I said. Model is 1050-1050 knife. Rotate it around, just give a look here. So it's a folding knife, but this also comes in a fixed blade as well. See here, made by Kershaw, Oregon, Japan, or by Kai. Oh, sorry, Kershaw, Oregon, USA, by Kai in Japan. The other side of the blade. This one just has the number 1050. I read where they stopped production for a while and they made some in Taiwan. But as far as I know, they're not made anymore now, stop production. So it's a backlock knife, and there it is there. It's about 8 inches altogether long, about 3.5 inch blade, made from Oz 8 steel. Oz 8 steel, I think back in those days, 20-25 years ago, was considered a fairly top quality steel, but these days probably only about considered mid-range steel, because we now have high-end steels and even some steels referred to as super steels. The interesting thing about this knife, very heavy, a bit over 8 ounces. So some of the weight is taken up by these brass bolsters here and brass liners you can see inside, so quite heavy. This is some sort of, they call phenolic resin, if I said that correctly, and makes the finger grooves there. It's quite smooth. Very well done, the transition between the brass and the resin. Very nicely made. From what I read, this one's as a reasonably expensive knife and considered quite good quality for its day. So Pete Kershaw started his company in about 1974, so I read, in Oregon. 1977, some sort of deal was done, business deal with Kai Group of Japan. So that's how we have this knife. Kershaw knife, but made in Japan. But these days Kershaw makes some knives in America as well. Interestingly, when I was doing some research on this knife, there's in Japan there's a Japanese knife maker called Hatatori. I think that's how you say it. He made a copy of these knives in a limited production, but a much more expensive version than these. The steel, he had VG10 steel put in it rather than the Oz 8 steel. The same design with the brass on the ends and the brass here. And from what I read, they were quite a bit more expensive than these ones. So you might have noticed, some keen knife people, there's no pocket clip on here, and the same with my Gerber Gator, no pocket clip. Just has a thumb nick here rather than a thumb stud or a flipper or something like that. And so you can see how knife production, knife design has moved on. So we still make some knives like this, but not in this design, be so heavy. It's a backlock, still made backlock knives today, or mid-lock knives. So it's interesting to see how knife design has evolved over the last 20 years or so. This is my Kershaw 1050 knife. There were a couple other knives made in the 10 series, so I think there was a 1040 if I remember, and a 1030, and they were different designs. This one's a 1050. It's Ant-Man 21 Able. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment or subscribe if you like. And remember, stay prepared, be ready, endure to the end. Goodbye for now.